Namaskar. Very warm welcome to all our viewers and learners in this live phone-in session of CIET NCERT. I am Renu Bhatt with you all, and you are watching us live on eVidya channels from channel number 6 to 12 and on our NCERT official YouTube channel as well. Dear learner, this is our special session of Sahyog where we talk about mental well-being of students and we try to provide them psychosocial support as well. And the topic that we are going to discuss today in this specific session is cultivating happiness for positive mental health. And they say that happiness is a state of mind and there are no other way or path to achieve that. We are the only person who can create happiness for ourselves. Our expert with us for more detail, let's meet them. You are Dr. Elizabeth Gangme. You are Associate Professor from Regional Institute of Education, Bhubaneswar, NCERT. Very warm welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
And we have our another expert with us as well. You are practicing counselor, Ms. Suman Verma. Very warm welcome, ma'am. Namaskar.
Namaste, ma'am. Thank you.
And before I begin this session, let me share some certain information in case you have any query or you want to share your experience with our experts and us. Feel free to connect to us through our various mediums. You can call us on our telephone number, that is 8800 440 559. Either you can drop a mail at our email address, that is sahyog.ncert@ciet.nic.in. We appreciate if you share your feedback as well. And apart from these mediums, you can share your feedback and queries with us through our YouTube channel, that is NCERT official. You have to go to the live chat box and then you have to drop your comment out there. And before I begin this session, let me share a very important piece of information regarding India's G20 presidency. We are indeed very proud that India assumed G20 presidency and will convene the G20 Leaders Summit for the first time in the country in 2023. A nation that deeply committed to democracy and multilateralism, India's G20 presidency would be a watershed moment in her history as it seeks to play an important role by finding pragmatic global solutions for the well-being of all. And in doing so, manifests the true spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or we can say the whole world is one family. With that very important piece of information, let's quickly get back to the Sahyog session. And ma'am, first question to you, Elizabeth ma'am, is what is happiness for a person, ma'am? How would you define that?
Thank you so much, Renu. Once again, my namaste and good evening to all the viewers. Also to my co-panelist, Suman Verma, who is a practicing counselor. See, we humans, our pursuit and the purpose of our life is for happiness, we can say that. But if we do not know the exact meaning of happiness, what exactly is happiness, then many a time we may miss the point and the real purpose of our living. So when we say happiness, what is happiness for a person? So we can say that happiness is it's a positive experience or well-being of a mental, emotional, and physical dimension. And also at the same time we can say happiness is very, very subjective and it's a mental state of mind. How you explain and how you define the criteria of happiness is depending on you at the larger perspective. And also so when we say happiness, as I have said, it's a very subjective. It's all within yourself, in the way you're thinking, your perception, and also how you have an attitude towards your surrounding. So that how you perceive and how you understand, that will define what is happiness for you. Anyway, we can say that happiness is actually it's a journey. It is a journey. That is why today our topic is cultivating happiness. So it's a journey and it's not a destination, it's a journey of life. And how your attitudes, that is very, very important. So today, nowadays, we tend to confuse between our possession, our convenience, and our comfort to happiness, which is not so. So happiness doesn't mean you have a lot of possession, materials, or maybe nowadays we talk of having technological gadgets, or you are having a lots of any other pleasurable things. So we mistook it many times for happiness. Actually, but what is a real happiness? That is not so. So that is what I want to convey here by saying what is happiness. So coming to real happiness, what is a real happiness? Real happiness in life is focusing on what you can give rather than taking for yourself. That is a real happiness. That is why many a time gardening give happiness, because it's tending your plant, or having caring of your pets, all these things, it brings satisfaction. That is a happiness. So it is more focused on what you can give rather than taking things for yourself. That is one way of looking at happiness. Another way also, happiness is the inner consciousness, your inner consciousness, your awareness, your reflection. So being true to yourself, that give you a lot of peacefulness and calm. That is also one way how we understand happiness. So another way is happiness is also releasing the harmful emotions. So when you release, when you do away with the negative emotions, and then replace it with positive emotion, you feel energized and positive. So that is what is the features of happiness. So you can have happiness in that way. And also in one way also, many people define happiness as forgiveness and acceptance. When you forgive others, when you accept others, the feeling of love will come. So when you are happy, you are contented, you are feeling love, you love others. So this is also a way of how we understand and define happiness. In many ways we can, as I have said, it's a mental state of mind, how you perceived, and it's very subjective. So another way of defining or understanding happiness is, it is shifting from blame, and also stop blaming others and take responsibility. This is also happiness. So when you shift from blaming others to taking responsibility, that also is you can have a lot of the cultivating happiness, and its consequence will come on you. So many people say happiness is also shifting away from blaming others and taking responsibility. So we feel valuable when we take responsibility, and we find our purpose in life. So that is what come as what is meant by happiness. So it's very your mental state of mind, and basically in these points that I have explained happiness, it is all about having a positive experience, your emotion, your mental well-being, as well as your physical well-beings. I think that is how we can understand happiness.
Rightly said. It's happiness is not a destination, it's a journey of life, and it may vary person to person, I would rather say, ma'am. And let's move ahead in this session and move towards our next expert, Suman ma'am. How does a person cultivate happiness, ma'am?
Thank you, ma'am, for your question. As Elizabeth ma'am defined happiness, all the aspects of happiness,
right,
we will just go one by one, and how we can use those kind of things, how we can be happy. So at first, the first thing which we should do is we should stop chasing after fame or power or wealth or good looks. These kind of things might be giving us very short-term happiness, but these are not going to stay for a longer term. They are not going to give us a long-term happiness. तो इसके लिए सबसे पहले जो चीज जरूरत है वो है आत्मसंतुष्टि। हमें आगे बढ़ना है, बड़ी चीजों को पाना है, लेकिन दिन भर केवल उनके पीछे दौड़ते रहने से नहीं होगा। हमें हर छोटी छोटी चीजों में भी खुश होना सीखना है। So these kind of changes, which will not bring a very drastic change in the circumstances, but can only bring the change in inner perspective and attitude of ours, can give us the happiness. Along with it, we all need to train our brain to be more positive. हम positive कैसे हो सकते हैं? हमें सबसे पहली जो चीज़ है, we need to start expressing our gratitude towards others. दूसरों के प्रति gratitude रखना जरूरी है. इसके अलावा अगर हम बात करें तो वी नीड टू नर्चर द एंड एंजॉय आवर ओन रिलेशनशिप्स. वी नीड टू इन्वेस्ट मोर एंड मोर क्वालिटी टाइम विद आवर नियर एंड डियर वंस. हमें आजकल हम लोग केवल अपने सोशल मीडिया में इतने बिजी हो गए हैं अपनी लाइफ में कि हम केवल अपने सोशल मीडिया में जो फ्रेंड्स हैं उनके टच में रहना चाहते हैं. कितने लाइक्स मिल रहे हैं, कितने कमेंट्स आ रहे हैं, कितने फॉलोअर्स बन रहे हैं, हम केवल इन चीजों में रह गए हैं. इनसे हमें इंस्टेंट हैप्पीनेस शायद मिल जाए, लेकिन लॉन्ग टर्म हैप्पीनेस के में ये काम नहीं आते हैं. हमारा कोई दोस्त नहीं दिख रहा है 4 दिन, हम उससे जब पूछ लेते हैं कि हाँ क्या हुआ, कहाँ नहीं दिख रहे हो, फोन कर लें. इन चीजों से उसे एक हैप्पीनेस मिलेगी. और हैप्पीनेस एक ऐसी चीज है, खुशियां एक ऐसी चीज है जो जितना बांटेंगे उतनी बढ़ेगी. वी नीड टू कॉम्प्लीमेंट द पीपल अराउंड आवरसेल्व्स. हम जो हमारे आसपास के जितने भी लोग हैं उनसे कनेक्टेड रहें, उनको सही समय पे उनकी छोटी छोटी चीजों में, उनकी छोटी छोटी अचीवमेंट्स में उनकी तारीफ करें, उन्हें कॉम्प्लीमेंट करें. इनसे भी हम भी हैप्पी हो सकते हैं. एंड उसके अलावा जो एक चीज हम लोग सब मिस करते हैं, हम सभी केवल कल हम ये अचीव कर लेंगे, परसों ये अचीव कर लेंगे तो हम खुश हो जाएंगे. हम यही सोचते रह जाते हैं. हम आज का जो प्रेजेंट मोमेंट है इसको एंजॉय नहीं कर पाते हैं. वी नीड टू एंजॉय द प्रेजेंट मोमेंट, एंड along with it there can be several other ways like a little meditation. A regular form of meditation is very much required. आपकी अंदर से शांति के लिए जब आप खुश रहेंगे, अंदर से अच्छा फील करेंगे तो अपने आप खुश रहना सीखेंगे. आप अपनी छोटी 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 जीतों को एक अच्छे तरीके से सेलिब्रेट कीजिए, खुद को एंजॉय कीजिए. दैट वे ऑल्सो यू कैन मेक योरसेल्फ हैप्पी. इससे भी आप अपने आप को बहुत अच्छा खुश महसूस कर सकेंगे. इसके अलावा जो हमारे सबसे जरूरी चीज होती है वो होती है हमारी हेल्थ. अगर हम अपने आप को हेल्दी रख सकें तो हम ज्यादा खुश महसूस कर पाएंगे. कोई भी इंसान अपने आप को ज्यादा खुश महसूस कर पाएगा. और हेल्दी रहने के लिए हम सभी को पता है हमें अच्छा खाना, न्यूट्रिशियस खाना खाना है, अच्छी नींद लेनी है, अपना कुछ एक्सरसाइज मेडिटेशन करना है. इसके अलावा हमें कुछ अपने जो हॉबीज हैं, वो प्लांट गार्डनिंग हो सकती है, वो ड्राइंग हो सकती है, कोई भी एक जो भी हॉबी हम अपने रखते हैं, कोई सिंगिंग कर सकता है, उस हॉबी पे भी हमें अपना थोड़ा टाइम रेगुलर बेसिस पे इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए. इससे भी हम ज्यादा खुश रह सकते हैं. तो ये कुछ चीजें हैं जिससे हम खुद को खुश रख सकते हैं.
जी मैम, बहुत अच्छे से आपने बताया कि एक छोटी छोटी चीज़ें होती हैं जो हमें अपने आप को खुश रखने के लिए करनी होती है. जैसे आपने कहा कि आत्मसंतुष्टि, मुझे लगता है बहुत बड़ा पॉइंट है कि इंसान जब अपने आप में संतुष्ट होता है तो वो खुश ही रहता है. कंटेंट होना बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ी बात है. और जैसे आपने कहा कि हर छोटी छोटी चीज़ को सेलिब्रेट किया जाए, इंजॉय किया जाए, तो बहुत बड़ी बड़ी चीज़ों की ज़रूरत नहीं है. हम सभी को सेलिब्रेशन के लिए जो छोटी छोटी चीज़ों में मज़ा आता है उसे इंजॉय करना चाहिए. यहाँ पर हम मैम एलिजाबेथ मैम हम आपके पास आएंगे, एंड वी जस्ट वांटेड टू नो मोर अबाउट the social relationship effects. How does a social relationship affects happiness, ma'am?
Yes, absolutely. In what Suman has discussed about just now, how do we cultivate happiness? She has mentioned many important points, which is very, very social in nature, in a socialization to your significant others, to your near and dear ones. So we can see that how it is important in your finding happiness. So here I can also say that we human being, man is a social animal or social being. So apart from socialization, we cannot develop in any aspects. We do not find happiness also. Even your language will never develop if, for example, if you don't socialize with others. So our nature, our body, we are designed to socialize. We are designed to connect to others. We are designed to relate to others. So many of our behavior are validated by our society. So if society say yes, you are, your behavior is very appreciable, then you have that contentment, or you have that happiness in you. So social, there is, in our growth, in our personal growth also, socialization plays a very, very important role. So if we don't socialize, we cannot grow in many ways, not only in happiness, in many aspects. We grow, even our personality, even our attitude, even our perception, in many ways those are correlated with our happiness also. So that is what is important. So many of the research also, it suggests that those who have a better social connection, they are more happier people. Nowadays we have happiness curriculum also. In Delhi we have a happiness curriculum.
Right.
It talks of like momentary happiness, deeper happiness, and sustainable happiness. So you can see, are you looking for momentary happiness, are you looking for deeper happiness, or are you being aware about your social phenomena? So that depends on you. So if you're looking for momentary happiness, then your happiness will be very short lived. So it depends on you, the level of happiness that you are seeking for. So but as we already say that being socializing, okay, being connecting with others. So in relationship, the strongest emotion are connected in a relationship. If your relationship is not good, you will also break down. If your relationship is good also, you can grow in many ways. So within that relationship, maybe in your family, maybe among your siblings, maybe in your neighborhood, or maybe with the relative. So in relationship, our emotion, many of like the all the importance characteristics or aspects of our emotion are encompassed there. So in socialization or in relationship, our emotions are so much related. So we have to understand, if we want happiness in our life, we need to have a very conducive socialization process. So from a small children, from young children, we have to nurture cultivating happiness, how to relate to others, how to connect to others, how to interpersonal relationship. So because if you want to be a productive person, if you want to fulfill your purpose in life, so we need to nurture the socialization process. So when your standing or your status is very good in your in the society, or in the family, or in the neighborhood, then only you can feel happy, and also you can have a self-esteem. Then your identity, your self-concept, all these things will be established in the society. So one more thing also, society and socialization is a mirror for us. We correct ourselves. So there will be no human being who will not be happy by appreciation from society, social community person. So if your family say you are doing, you're very cultured person, you're so appreciable, but there will be no human being who will not like hearing such thing. So we are designed to be connecting with others, not only to human being. We are designed to connect to all living beings. That's why we say gardening. You garden, you see your plants, you have a pet dog, you take care of the dog. It creates a positive vibe, it gives you contentment, happiness in taking care of such thing. So in a relationship, not only in a human being, so you need to have a very conducive how do I say, connection to your nature, your plants, your environment, so your phenomena, like that. So it's very important that we understand that happiness is connected to socializing process. Yes.
Yes, ma'am, very well explained. And indeed, we are a social animal and we need to socialize, and we do need relations in our life as well. और हम यहाँ पे सुमन मैम आपके पास आएंगे, जैसे मैम ने इतने अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन किया, और हम बात कर रहे हैं कल्टिवेटिंग हैप्पीनेस की. अगर हम स्कूल की बात करें तो किस तरह से कौन-कौन से एक्टिविटीज़ जो है कंडक्ट की जा सकती है मैम? प्लीज़ एक्सप्लेन टू अस.
जी. जैसा कि एलिजाबेथ मैम ने बताया कि कनेक्शन क्या है, और स्कूल में हम पहली चीज बच्चों को भेजते ही इसलिए हैं ताकि वो अपने आसपास के लोगों के साथ कनेक्शंस बना सकें, उनके साथ फ्रेंड्स, उनके नए फ्रेंड्स बन सके, उन्हें चीजों को समझ हो कि किस तरीके से हम किसके साथ डील करेंगे तो उनका कैसा इमोशन हमारी तरफ पड़ेगा। तो इसलिए सबसे पहले चीज तो यही है कि स्कूलों में कुछ ऐसी ही एक्टिविटीज ज्यादा ध्यान दी जानी चाहिए ताकि बच्चों की दोस्ती ज्यादा बने, बच्चों के अंदर टीम स्पिरिट आए। बच्चे जब दूसरों को खुश करते हैं, बच्चे जब एक बच्चा मुस्कुराता है, हंसता है, तो एक लाइन से वो एक सभी मुस्कुराना शुरू कर देते हैं। तो ये ऐसी ही एक्टिविटीज करनी ज्यादा जरूरी है। इसके अलावा अगर हम कहें तो कुछ अलग से एक्टिविटीज असेंबली में या को करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज में, जैसे कि हास्य कवि सम्मेलन, जिससे कि हम इनिशिएट कर सकें उस स्माइल को, क्योंकि स्माइल जब शुरू होगी, हैप्पीनेस कहीं ना कहीं हम लोग मापने का अगर कोई तरीका है तो किसी भी फेस पे कितनी बड़ी स्माइल आती है हम इसी से नाप सकते हैं। सबसे पहली नापने का तरीका शायद यही होता है। तो ऐसी कुछ एक्टिविटीज जैसे हास्य कवि सम्मेलन हुआ या कुछ हास्य नाटक हुआ, इस तरीके की चीजें अगर हम करवाएं तो बच्चों में एक खुशी आएगी, इंस्टेंट खुशी आएगी। इसके अलावा अगर हम देखें तो कुछ हम पेयर्स में एक्टिविटीज करवा सकते हैं, जैसे कि हैप्पीनेस स्पीकिंग एक्टिविटीज, जिसमें कि पेयर्स में दो लोग, आपस में दो लोग एक दूसरे को, अनजान लोग भी बैठें और आपस में कुछ क्वेश्चंस होंगे जिनके बारे में वो एक दूसरे को पूछेंगे और एक दूसरे से इसके जवाब भी लेंगे। जैसे कि इफ यू कुड प्लान योर परफेक्ट डे, व्हाट वुड इट बी। तो इस तरीके से जब वो एक दूसरे को जान गए तो उसको किस तरीके से वो वापस से ये उसको खुश कर सकता है, जब उसको पता है, एक दोस्त को पता है कि हाँ उसको दिन परफेक्ट होने के लिए क्या कर सकते हैं, तो वो उस चीज को अप्लाई भी कर सकेगा। या फिर किसने आज तक आपको सबसे ज्यादा खुश किया और कैसे किया, तो इससे भी कुछ एक आइडिया मिलेगा, बच्चों के बीच दोस्ती बढ़ेगी, कनेक्शंस बढ़ेंगे। इसके अलावा अगर हम खुद की बच्चों के अंदर ये सिखाएं कि हाँ खुद के अंदर भी खुशी बढ़ाने की जरूरत है, तो कंपैशन लेटर लिखना चाहिए, लिखने का प्रैक्टिस बच्चों में करवाना चाहिए। जैसे कि बी योर ओन बेस्ट फ्रेंड, आप अपने खुद के बेस्ट फ्रेंड बन जाइए और एक केयरिंग वाला, कंपैशनेट वाला लेटर आप अपने आप को लिखिए। और कभी अगर आपके साथ ऐसा लगे कि आज मैं बिल्कुल खुश नहीं हूं, उदास हूं, मेरा दिन अच्छा नहीं गया, तो आप उस चिट्ठी को उठाइए और उसको पढ़िए, आपको बहुत आराम मिलेगा। इसके अलावा और भी जितने भी ग्रुप एक्टिविटीज, अलग अलग सब्जेक्ट्स में जितने ग्रुप एक्टिविटीज कराएंगे, बच्चे उतना कनेक्टेड फील करेंगे चीजों से और उतना फ्रेंड्स के साथ फ्रेंड्स बनाएंगे और ज्यादा खुश रह पाएंगे। इसके अलावा योगा एक्टिविटी, पीटी एक्सरसाइजेस, ये ऑफ कोर्स स्कूल का इंटरनल पार्ट्स होता है, इनसे भी अलग तरह की खुशियां मिलती हैं।
जी, तो ये सारी चीजें जो स्कूल में की जा सकती है बच्चों के लिए फॉर हैप्पीनेस एक्टिविटीज, राइट?
जी मैम।
और डेफिनेटली सारी एक्टिविटीज़ जो हैं बच्चों को खुश करेंगी। यहाँ पे वी आर रनिंग वेरी शॉर्ट ऑफ टाइम राइट नाउ, बट स्टिल वी वांट कंक्लूडिंग रिमार्क फ्रॉम बोथ आर एक्सपर्ट। एलिजाबेथ मैम, हम आपसे कंक्लूडिंग रिमार्क्स जानना चाहेंगे। व्हाट वुड यू से मैम?
Okay. Basically, I want to also tell our viewers, the youngsters, that do not seek happiness through a material possession. You may be having like the latest mobile, the latest trends, the dress or whatever. These are very temporary. This will not give you the kind of contentment that you are looking for. So do not seek your happiness. It is convenient, it is necessary, but these are not the ultimate purpose of life. So the ultimate purpose of life is like having connection with each other, talking to your parents, talking to your friends, all these things. So these are much more important. Suman was also telling about nowadays social networking site. That's true. That's a fact. We are spending most of our time in social networking nowadays. TikTok is there, all this Facebook, and all these things are there. But do not spend the time at the expense of your time with your parents or with your friends, with your siblings. Do not do that. Ultimately, it is your connection with your friends, your parents, that will count ultimately. So that is very, very important. by sitting in one room, 3 room you are having in your house, each of you sitting in one room, connecting through mobile, this this will hamper you in many ways, physical hamper, emotional hamper, all these things are there. So you find times you can use that, it's a convenient for you to connect with others, but still then you cannot find the deeper happiness, the sustainable happiness that you are looking for. So youngster, you to find happiness in other, with your significant others and the nature and the environment around you. Yes.
Yes, Suman ma'am.
जी मैम, आखिर में मैं केवल यही चीज कहूंगी कि 3 रास्ते हैं हम सबके खुश रहने के। पहला, दूसरों की शुक्रिया कीजिए, दूसरा, हमेशा मुस्कुराते रहिए, और तीसरा, कभी किसी का दिल ना दुखाइए। आप हमेशा खुश रहेंगे, जीवन भर खुश रहेंगे। धन्यवाद।
Thank you so very much, ma'am, for being with us. Thank you so very much, Elizabeth ma'am and Suman ma'am, for being with us, or for all your valuable talk and informative information. Thank you so very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us. Yeah.
Ma'am, pleasure is all ours. And dear learners and viewers, as our expert said, happiness is a state of mind. It's not a destination, it's a journey of life. तो बहुत ही क्विक तरीके से आप हैप्पीनेस को या खुशी को पाना ना चाहें, धीरे धीरे और छोटी छोटी बातों में आपको खुशी मिलेगी, वो आपके साथ ताउम्र रहने वाली है। इसी के साथ इस सेशन में यहाँ पे वाइंड अप करूँ, लेकिन उससे पहले एक बहुत ज़रूरी सूचना आपके साथ हम शेयर करना चाहेंगे रिगार्डिंग इंडियाज़ G20 प्रेसिडेंसी। We are indeed very proud that India assumed G20 presidency and will convene the G20 Leaders Summit for the first time in the country in 2023. A nation that deeply committed to democracy and multilateralism, India's G20 presidency would be a watershed moment in her history as it seeks to play an important role by finding pragmatic global solutions for the well-being of all. And in doing so, manifest the true spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or we can say the whole world is one family. With that very important piece of information, me Renu Bhatt along with my whole team is taking your leave. You stay tuned to eVidya channels and NCERT official YouTube channel. Namaskar.